This is an instructional video on how to use the Central South Dakota Enhancement District Coronavirus Business Survey Manager. The link to the Survey Manager is right here. The big difference between the Business Survey and the Survey Manager is the Business Survey is open to the public. This is where you take the survey. The Business Survey Manager is password protected. So you must have an Esri password. It must be a creator level account. It must be set to publisher privileges, and it must be set to visible to the public. And you make these settings on your own organization's Esri ArcGIS Online page. That is where you manage this stuff. You have to set it to public for anyone outside of your organization to be able to interact. So that is why that is very important, and we will talk about that at another time. But once you have created a survey and you want to go in and view it, you will click the COVID Business Survey Manager. And if you are not already logged in, you'll be prompted for a login at this point. Because I was logged in already, it took me automatically to this page. So now what you are seeing is all the 10 counties that are in Central Enhancement District, and these are the associated data sets that we have available for them. Let's just walk through some of the features on this site. We have a layer list, and this will tell us all of the data that we have. We have city boundaries. We have roads from the roads web. That's something that we do. We design a web-based roads layer that draws more efficiently and labels better than your standard GIS data. We've also got parcels, county boundaries, zip code boundaries. We have lakes and section lines. As Central Enhancement District obtains more GIS data, we can add that GIS data into our Survey Manager. So if some of these counties have a zoning layer, or some of them have utilities information, we can take that information, add this, and keep it up to date for your use. If you're looking to see what the legend looks like on these, all you do is just click the arrow to the left of your layer, and it will open up. And as you can see, submitted shows up in big red dots. Received are smaller in blue. This way, when you see a new survey, which is indicated by submitted, you will know that that's a new survey and it hasn't been reviewed yet. Received means we have seen the data, we've acknowledged that it's there, and we've already had a chance to look at it. City boundaries is hard to see because they're white dashed lines, so they don't show up very well in this legend. You can see parcels, county boundaries are thick black. Zip code boundaries are in purple, lakes in blue. Section lines are thin black lines. And we also have a measure tool here. The measure tool will allow you to measure points. Points are for latitude and longitude. If you're zooming into a particular residence or a bridge or a culvert or a sign, and you want to know the lat and long for that, you click right here and click the location, and that is going to give you a latitude and longitude. And the nice thing about that is you can actually just left click and drag along this and hit copy. And then you can paste that into an email. So if anyone's looking for a latitude and longitude, that's a quick way to provide it for them. You can also do measurements. We will zoom in tight here. And as we zoom in tighter, you will notice that more things start turning on. Like we see lakes, we see city streets. As I get in tighter, we see the parcel boundary outlines. As we get in tighter, we will see section numbers, and we will also see owner names. So once we get into this level and we want to do a measurement, we can measure distance. And I will just, let me do that one more time. Click on my distance tool. And we'll just measure distance across here. And we can see that that's 2,628 feet. You can actually measure around the section if you want to see a circumference. And double clicking will end your measurement and lock in the footage. We can clear that. We can also do area. Area is in acres. We can change acres to square feet if you want to, actually any of these. we'll leave it as acres now, and we will draw in and see that this is roughly, and you can see I didn't do a great job of that, but 157.2 acres. So obviously this is a quarter section of land. And we can clear that. The next thing I want to talk about is the identify button, and you can use the identify button. You don't need to click anything special for that. You just click on whatever feature that you are interested in. Primarily, the first thing that will show up is the parcel data. So right up on top, STR9425, this is where the site address normally is. But if they don't have a site address, they populated some of these with section township range. But we also see mailing addresses, owner information, township range, section, deeded acres, legal descriptions. All that information is in your parcel data. So if you're looking for someone, it is pretty easy to do that. Another way that you can look for stuff is you can enter in the search. You can see that Zajac Revocable Trust. This is coming from the parcels, and you can tell where it is searching from. We're searching from parcels right now, and this is world information as well. So there's a world search out there, but then there's also a search by parcels. So if we're looking for someone, we can do that. We're entering in a last name. You can see all these different parcels that have the name Jones in them, for example. And if we click on them, it will take us there. So this is how we get around. We can do searches and find that information. Another thing that we can do is review the data in our Info Summary tab, which is right here. The Info Summary tab is designed to manage your COVID Business Survey responses. And as we can see in our list, we have 2 of these so far. And there's some information that is provided just at a glance, so you can review them. What you can do is you can click on these. As you click on them, it'll take you directly to the site. And it's also going to pop up your identify, so you can read all of the information that's associated with that. And you can scroll down and you can see if there's an attachment. Like we have an attachment here. We can turn that on and see whatever's there. I attached this because I like little smiley face in this beer. But I suspect when you start using the COVID Business Survey, it will be more along the lines of menus, business flyer, or something like that they can attach. And we can leave that up and just click on the tab back to the other. Another thing that we can do while we're here, when you click on the Identify tool and click on the business, what you'll see is you can zoom to that, or B, you can also click these 3 dots. You can pan to, you can add a marker, you can view in the attribute table, or the one that I really want to show you here is the Smart Editor. We can load it up in what we call the Smart Editor. And the Smart Editor is what we use to edit these surveys. And as you can see here, we can the status is submitted. We can change that. Being we're looking at it already, we can change that to received, and that is going to change the color and size of your icon, so that you can quickly see if you have researched those or located those and addressed them or not. We have additional notes, so we can add information in here. We can change all this information if we want to. We can update the address or the business owner, phone number. All of this information can be modified right here. You can also see that there is our attachment. We can view that from here as well. Another thing that we can do, if they provide additional information, like say they provided like a flyer for their business, but they also wanted to add a menu into this, they can send that to you, and you can add it just by going to Choose File and clicking on whatever that file is, and those will show up in your attachments list. When you do that, you'll want to save. And let's go back to that. When I said the size and shape will change, it will, and it did. When I clicked on it, it loaded it back up into our smart editor. Something else you can do if they put it in the wrong place, you can edit the geometry by clicking on this button here and then moving it to a new spot. Another thing you can do is create new features. So you don't have to take the survey. If you have the Survey Manager, you can click on a new feature here, and you can drop a new feature right into your data set and populate it from here. And attach new information and save it. So it's very easy to add new features, move features, review features, and even delete features. If we don't like that feature, if it said we made a mistake, we can just delete it, and it's gone. So Smart Editor is a very handy tool for managing the surveys. And the info summary is a handy tool to quickly review them. You can also look at the information in the table. So you can see that the COVID Business Survey, we have a few of these in here already. So this would be a quick way just to look at it in tabular format. And you get there by clicking this little up arrow at the bottom. And to get rid of it, you just click on this to reduce it down again. So a pretty handy survey manager here. That concludes my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please slam that like and subscribe button for more content.